Welcome, Japanese woodblock print collectors and enthusiasts. I had the good fortune to visit the Freer Gallery of Art at the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C. They had a wonderful exhibit titled Staging the Supernatural. This exhibit had some amazing ukiyo-e prints that documented how the supernatural world was represented on the stages of the Kabuki and No theater. Let's start with a quick overview of No and Kabuki, and then we'll jump into the prints. No theater originated in the 14th century and is known for its subtle movements and profound narratives with spiritual themes. No actors don't use makeup, but they wear painted wooden masks, and actors tilt their head to change the mask's expression using light and shadows. Kabuki, on the other hand, is kind of the common man's No theater. It emerged in the 17th century and is known for its elaborate costumes and exciting storytelling. Kabuki performances are often bold and outrageous, and actors do use makeup. As we walk through the exhibit, I think you'll quickly see the distinction between the two performing arts. The first part of the exhibit was the No theater prints of Tsukioka Kogyo. He was the adopted son and most successful student of Tsukioka Yoshitoshi. Kogyo got interested in designing pictures of No after he saw his first performance in 1883. He is quoted as saying, "Since I wanted to paint pictures of elegant people, I was attracted to doing pictures of No." Let's look at this first print of a ghost of a fisherman from 1899. He stares out at us, his ragged hair and clothing colored like the sea that drowned him. In his hand, he holds a stylized fishing net. You can see that Kogyo's style is very sophisticated, realistic, and painterly. In fact, many of his prints look like watercolor paintings. One popular tale that finds its way into a lot of ukiyo-e is that of the evil earth spider, or Tsuchigumo. The spider takes human form and commits evil acts. One climax point in this No play is when he throws rice paper webs to trap people. In this print, we see the earth spider again, but this time he's disguised as a monk. Many of Kogyo's prints are brooding and dark, and his characters represent demons, ghosts, spirits, and gods. One of the most popular No plays is called Dojoji. The story is that the monks at a temple are going to consecrate a huge new temple bell. And you can see the bell at the top right corner of the print. No women are allowed, but one enters anyway and begs to see the bell. She performs a dance and then hides under the bell. The woman is really the spirit of a poisonous snake demon, and when she emerges from under the bell, she looks like this. Kogyo was the most prolific of the No artists, and I think his deep understanding of the art form, along with his mentorship by Yoshitoshi, enabled him to achieve these evocative images. The rest of the exhibit is behind this curtain that depicts the evil earth spider, and that takes us to the thrills and chills of the Kabuki theater. I thought this first print was really striking. It's by Kunisada, done in 1816. First, look at the color palette. It's not often you see yellow, pink, and green together. This is the Kabuki version of that Dojoji story. In this version of the play, the possessed woman dances and transforms into a demon by shedding her multi-layered costume. On the bottom right side, we can see the stagehand getting ready to help quickly change the actors' costumes. Here you can see the two versions together. Quite different depictions of the same story, and a good example of the differences between the traditional Utagawa school conventions and the more realistic style of the Meiji period. In this next print by Utagawa Toyokuni, we see the earth spider has transformed into the female demon and is attacking Minamoto no Yorimitsu. I love the composition and the strong sweeping black diagonals of the rain behind them. that really adds a lot of motion and energy to this print. There were a few prints of the Oiwa story. It's a horrible story about a woman who is married to an evil man, and the woman, without knowing it, is fed poison that causes her face to become disfigured and her hair to fall out in bloody clumps. She then dies, and her ghost comes back to haunt and punish the people who caused her death. There's a scene in the play where she's trying to make herself look pretty, and she's brushing her hair, but because of the poison, her hair falls out in clumps and blood drips. It's really quite gruesome. And you can see that in this print by Kuniyoshi. On stage, the actor used fake blood contained in a puffer fish, and they would squeeze it from inside their wig. One of Oiwa's signature ghost moves is when she bursts out of a flaming paper lantern. And this is one of the most spectacular special effects in Kabuki. And here's a diptych print by Kuniyoshi of this lantern scene. An added bonus of this show was seeing this book published in 1859 called What Really Happens Backstage. And it shows you how the actors pulled off the special effects. In this section, we can see how the stagehand helps the actor climb into the back of the lantern. They would then light part of the lantern on fire, and the actor would burst out onto the stage. It would be so cool to see this in person. In this diptych by Kunisada from 1831, the scene is winter at Snake Mountain. The ghost of Oiwa is floating out of a lantern to get her revenge. And another print by Kuniyoshi from the series 100 Poems by 100 Poets, where the lantern turns into the ghost. This Kuniyoshi print reminded me of this print by Hokusai of The Ghost of Oiwa from 1832. This print wasn't in the exhibit, but it's always fun to look at. In many of these prints, you'll notice the spirit flame symbol, and this indicates a ghost or spirit has entered the scene. In the theater, a hidden stagehand would light a cotton ball soaked in alcohol. This would make a greenish-blue flame. This print is by Asada Hiro from 1835. I thought this was an interesting print by an artist named Yoshikuni from 1814. This is the story about the monk Seigen and his love Sakura Hime. I won't go into details of the story, but isn't this an unusual print layout? I have no idea how you would display it. An exhibit on supernatural prints wouldn't be complete without a monster cat. This triptych by Kuniyoshi is called the Okazaki Cat Demon. The cat is ripping open the temple wall, but fortunately our hero in the center panel is holding a Buddhist verse that protects him from evil. You can learn more about bad cats in my video on good and bad cats in ukiyo-e. In this triptych by Kunisada, we see the ghosts of two people that were drowned by the evil samurai who is on the right side of the print. When they performed the play, there were holes cut in the folding screen, which the ghost actors stuck their heads through. This unusual vertical triptych by Kunichika from 1892 shows a scene from the play The Mansion of Plates and the Cursed Makeup Mirror. And this is a popular story in which a samurai wants to have his way with a beautiful maid named Okiku, and she refuses, so he hides a valuable plate and then accuses her of stealing it. But if she has sex with him, he'll forgive her. She again refuses, and she throws herself down a well. Her ghost later returns to get revenge. Another popular female ghost was the ghost of Kasane. The story goes that she was born disfigured, and when she grows up, a man pretends to fall in love with her in order to get possession of her family's land. He then kills her and is haunted by her ghost. This print is by Kunisada. There were a couple of diptychs by Kuniyoshi of the ghost of Sogo. The underlying story is supposedly true. in that in the 1600s, a farmer named Sogo lived in a village that was being heavily taxed by the evil lord of the land. So he went to the shogun to complain. This act was illegal, and Sogo was crucified and his wife and children were executed. Their ghosts, however, come back in a variety of forms to get revenge on the evil lord. Lastly, we'll look at these 4 prints from Kunisada's The Flowers of Edo series. This is a unique series because multiple artists, including Hiroshige II, Shosai, Yoshitoshi, Kyosai, and Yoshitora, contributed to the prints, with Kunisada designing the overall print theme and main Kabuki actor image. In this tetraptych, which means 4 prints that form one image as opposed to a triptych or a diptych, you're seeing actors and images from some of the most famous supernatural Kabuki tales. And the fun part is there's this one unifying ghost that starts at the far right and travels across all 4 prints. Besides the scary woodblock print theme, I thought this exhibit was very educational. I learned a lot about Tsukioka Kogyo and No theater. I also saw how supernatural special effects are achieved in Kabuki plays. As a side note, if you visit the Museum of Asian Art at the Smithsonian, it's worthwhile checking out some of the other exhibits. I found this painting by Whistler from 1864 called Caprice in Purple and Gold, the Golden Screen. And you can see the subject is looking at Hiroshige prints, probably from 100 Views of Edo. All right, you know the drill. Please like and subscribe, and happy collecting.